session about transition planning, preparing for life after high school. And we have our transition team folks here. We also have folks from the Department on Disability Services. So that is very exciting. So Erica, take it away.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Erica Wingate, and I am a Workforce Development Coordinator on the Transition team out of the Division of Specialized Instructions with DCPS. I tell people that my job is to help prepare students for life after high school. The goal of the Division of Specialized Instruction, the Secondary Transition team, is to provide meaningful classroom and community-based experiences that prepare students with disabilities for college, career, and independent community living. So whatever path they're taking after high school, we're ready to help prepare them. It starts with the IEP transition planning. Transition planning is the process that will help a student with an individualized education plan, or the IEP, decide what they want to do after high school. Students should actively participate in developing their transition plan, and the school team will assist students with accomplishing those transition plan goals by connecting them with the secondary transition programming opportunities that we'll talk about. When you see on your screen here, this page that says academic interest at the top, this is called a student written input form, and it's what staff use to help the students guide their plan. So they'll ask some questions like, what classes and subjects do you like the most and why? What classes and subjects do you not like the most and why? What can be changed within your classroom to make it easier for you to learn? And how can the services or supports you received be improved? There'll also be questions around functional interests, like, are there any skills that you need additional help with? Or what extracurricular social activities do you currently participate in or would like to join? And finally, the employment interest questions will help to navigate what that work life will look like. So they'll be asked to list about 3 jobs that they're interested in, and if there's any skills that they need to learn in order to do those jobs. Any other comments that they have will also be added to this form, but this form is critical in helping students to create their transition plan. We will now look at our DSI transition programs overview. We have 2 specific employment and training placement programs that we offer. The first one is Bridges from School to Work. It's an entry-level employment training and placement program, and it's for students on the high school diploma pathway. We also have a program called Next Gen Study, entry-level employment training and placement, or receiving community resources for employment. Let's get into those a little deeper. With the Bridges to Work program, it will match youth with businesses that seek capable entry-level workers. So we provide our seniors with a documented disability, the IEP, or a 504 plan with direct placement services. There are specific schools that participate in this Bridges to Work program. So if your student attends Anacostia or Ballou or Dunbar or Wilson or HD Woodson, they are eligible with their IEP or 504 plan to participate in the Bridges to Work program. You will see that referral show up in the chat, but also if you're on this site, you could click on that blue link and it should take you to the referral as well. For our Next Gen Study program, it's a federally funded research study that's in collaboration with Bridges School to Work and Mathematica. So in that program, randomly selected seniors with the documented disability of the IEP or 504 plan, they will get direct placement services or community resources and gift cards. And again, there are specific schools different from the previous ones. So in this program, we have Cardozo Education Campus, we have Eastern High School, Roosevelt High School, Roosevelt Stay Opportunity Academy, and Ballou Stay Academy as well. Again, the referral will either be in this chat, you can access it, or you can click on that blue link. We also have internship programs that we offer, 2 of them. The Competitive Employment Opportunities, or CEO program. It's a mentoring and internship opportunity for our juniors and seniors who are on the high school diploma pathway. We also have an in-school or community placement internship opportunity called General Explorations. And that too is for our juniors and seniors, but they can be on the high school diploma pathway and on the high school achievement certificate pathway. Let's get into those a little more as well. With our CEO or Competitive Employment Opportunity Program, it is a premier mentoring and internship opportunity that pairs the diploma pathway, juniors and seniors with mentors based on common career interest. So once they're paired with that mentor and they meet with them, they will also, throughout the school year, they will also in the summer have an 80-hour summer internship at the mentor's place of employment. You can see at the bottom of your screen kind of a timeline of how this works. We open up the applications at the beginning of each school year around September. And then in the month of September and October, we'll be doing student outreach. October, that application will close. And we'll spend time in October and November doing student interviews. And finally, the program will be ready for the start and to begin in January of that school year. Looking at our General Explorations internship, it will connect classroom-based career readiness instruction to internship experiences for juniors and seniors who are enrolled in transition coursework. The GE internship, it allows students on both the certificate and the diploma track the opportunity to gain experience working in a career of interest. The GE application opens by dates that are announced by a rollout. Our transition staff will send that communication to the school staff who will share it with students and families, same as the start date for the internship. We also have, that's great, we also have workforce development programs. So let's get into that. We have 2 full-time workforce development programs. The first one is called the Workforce Development Center at River Terrace, also known as WDC. It's a combination of classroom instruction and community-based work experiences. This is for our certificate pathway students, students who are classified as C4 and above. They have intellectual and/or developmental disabilities, and their ages 18 to 21. Our Project Search program is a school-to-work program at the hospitality site. Also, for our certificate pathway students, C4 and above, their diagnosis would be intellectual disabilities, but they also range in age from 18 to 21. Looking at them a little closer, with the River Terrace Education Campus Workforce Development Center, or WDC, it is a full-time application-only program for 1 year. It's a developmental program for students that have the intellectual and developmental disabilities on the certificate track. And again, it takes place at the River Terrace Education Campus. The program consists of 3 career pathways that students will learn more about and work in, that being hospitality, horticultural, and health services. They go out to those work sites about 3 to 4 times a week with their teacher. Again, you can see kind of in our timeline how we roll this out. In the month of December, we start having our information sessions in the school. The application would open in January of a school year. We would do school outreach in January and February, and the application will close. We'll begin interviews in the month of March. Final decisions will be made by April. For our Project Search Capital Area Region program, it is a 1-year full-time application-only school-to-work hospitality program for students with intellectual disabilities on that certificate track. So these students are fully immersed in their workplace setting. They receive hands-on experience at one of our partner hotels. They also receive daily instruction on professionalism and employability skills. And at the end of the program, the students actually exit out from DCPS. They will finally be done with all of the wonderful education they get through DCPS. And they would have also had a higher level of independence that would require them for that program. Again, there's a timeline that kind of coincides with that as well, with information sessions happening in December of a school year, the application opening in January, student outreach going on between January and February. The application would close in February, and in March, there would be interviews and skill assessment evaluations done with the students. Now we're going to learn more about our partner, Adult Disability Services, and how we partner up. So here at DCPS, we make referrals to 2 different adult disability agencies, the Developmental Disability Administration, or DDA, and the Rehabilitation Services Administration, RSA. You're going to learn more about them from our partners. But let me also just point out that in order to participate in our internships, because they are paid opportunities, students do need to be referred to RSA. So you do that by working with your school, the assigned transition team member, to do the referral. Again, you're going to be explaining the process of RSA more in detail, but if you have any questions on the DCPS side, it just starts on the school level with your staff, your case manager, your LEA, and they will connect you to us on the transition team. So now I would like to turn it over to my partner, Dr. Gomez, who will speak more about RSA services.
Good afternoon, I'm Dr. Gomez, and I'm going to be presenting with Ms. Takia Milburn, who will begin the presentation.
Good evening, everyone. Again, thank you all for joining us this evening. My name is Takia Milburn, and I am the Transition Project Manager at RSA. The mission of DDS. The mission of DDS is to provide innovative, high-quality services that enable people with disabilities to lead meaningful and productive lives as vital members of their families, schools, workplaces, and communities in every neighborhood in the District of Columbia. DDS is comprised of 3 administrations. First being the Developmental Disability Administration that we often refer to as DDA. They're responsible for the oversight and coordination of services for persons who are qualified with intellectual disabilities. Rehabilitation Services Administration, referred to as RSA, which provide vocational and rehabilitative services to individuals with disabilities to help them with preparing for, securing, or retaining employment. Lastly, the Disability Determination Division, that we refer to as DDD, and they determine eligibility for Social Security income, SSDI, and other natures. Youth and Transition Services. So we're just going to go a little bit into the services that we provide. Benefits of youth VR transition services. So some benefits are decreasing gaps in services between exiting secondary education and post-secondary employment, preparation and engagement of youth in post-secondary training programs, and focused plans for employment that result in earlier attainment of long-term employment goals.
I'll talk about VR transition services. The transition services that we offer to our students are guidance and counseling. We also provide extensive psychological and vocational assessments. We also provide job placement, which is the opportunity to apply for jobs and find a job suitable for our students. We provide support and employment for students who need an extensive interventions to obtain employment. We also develop for all our services something that we call the IPE, which stands for the Individualized Plan for Employment, which is the equivalent of IEP, but towards employment services. In terms of what services we provide at the school, what the students are in school, we call these services pre-ETS, which stands for pre-employment transition services. They need to be between the ages of 14 to 22, whether they're in middle school, high school, or a post-secondary program. And there are 5 things that we do with them and for them. We explore different kind of jobs that are suitable for them with their capacities, needs, and interests. We also help them to find work-based learning experiences where they can learn about what kind of work they can do. We provide them with guidance and counseling for post-secondary programs, whether they're trade program, apprenticeship programs, or what schools would be suitable for them to attend in college. We give them the training necessary for them to be able to obtain, apply, and retain employment. And finally, we help them to self-advocate for them in the work settings, whatever profession they choose to do based on their needs, abilities, and capacities. Also, what is important to remember is for RSA, this is an application program. Therefore, you have to apply for services, and for that, there are certain requirements. I work for the Transition office, even though RSA works for the entire life of an individual. Transition refers to youth, ages 14 to 24. The person who applied for these services need to have a documented disability, and if they're in a school, they should have an IEP or a 504. And also they need to present medical, psychological, psychiatric information that they have a condition that prevents them from obtaining employment or developing at their maximum level of employability. And the student will receive also benefits in terms of services, how to obtain the most integrated work experience that they can have in the area they choose to work on. So how does this process occur? How does the person apply and becomes eligible for RSA services, which is employment services, right? So the person, the point of contact in a school will open up the case, and that means there will always be a point of contact in every school who will help us to open the case through the submission of documents. Then there's a process when we receive this application, we explore what kind of work they want to do, right? Once we determine eligibility and we understand that the disability prevents some certain barrier of obstacle for employment, and we want to prevent that, minimize that, or attenuate that, we develop what is called the IPE, Individualized Plan for Employment, what it would take for an individual, a young person, to obtain the job that they want to do. And we will include the services, both the ones that RSA provides and the one that we draw from community partners, government institutions, and other parties to support the achievement of that vocational goal. We help them to prepare for employment through those combinations, right? And finally, we help them to find that job and retain that job through the services that we offer in combination with the community, government, and nonprofit programs that are available to achieve whatever vocational goal the client has selected.
Parents' role in the DDS process. This is super, super, super important. I cannot stress this enough. Some of the parents' role includes providing the RSA counselor with all of the necessary documentation that Dr. Gomez just went over, medical documentation, residential documentation. We always say the more documentation, the better. Be an active participant in your youth VR case and advocate for your children's goals. Sometimes we receive cases where the child is basically left to fend for themselves, and, you know, understanding our processes and our services are a lot. So we ask that the parent be available if possible. Keep all scheduled appointments with the RSA counselor. Please make sure that the individual is able to get to their appointments. If they can't make their appointment, that they are communicating with their RSA counselor to let them know. Keeping in touch and remaining in contact. I said that one without even realizing it. Keeping in touch and remaining in contact with the VR counselor until the case is closed. I used to always tell my clients when I was a counselor, if you don't hear from me in 30 days, please reach out to me. You're not bothering me. You're not bugging me. I want you to call to say, hey, what's going on with my case? Or, you know, just to inform what services they're currently receiving, what's going on with those services. Prepare your youth to get ready to work. We are a work program, so we want the individual to be ready and prepared to work.
So the role of the LEA with the DDS process, right? Provide students, DDS counselor with all the necessary documentation. We work for the government, so we rely strongly on our point of contact to collect and analyze all the data available in the school, whether it's the IEP, 504, psychological, grades, report cards, attendance cards. So we draw all that information from them in order to provide the most accurate and assertive guidance and counseling for our clients. We ask them to be an active participant of the VR case. We collaborate towards the goal of the clients. And we want to have a team collaboration to help our clients achieve the vocational goal that they want. And by vocation, we mean any kind of profession, including college. The word vocation includes profession, trades, and any kind of advanced degree. Update the IEP's transition plan. Is incredibly important to know any updates, any changes that occur in order to provide assertive information and services or referrals. Collaborate with the DDS counselor. Is extremely important that we get updated, ongoing and continuous information about the progress and even the setback of our clients, and in order to see what we can do or what program is available for the clients to access in order to support them. And we strongly encourage and promote self-advocacy, which is the ability to ask, request, and plead for services that are available in the community, available through laws, available through employers to be able to obtain, retain, and maintain employment.
This is the information here on how to connect with DDS, but please do remember that there is a point of contact at your school as well.
Thank you so much to our partners at DDS. So before I tell you how you can help prepare your child for programming opportunities, let me just say that was a lot of information and it might have sounded overwhelming, but trust me that it's not, because as Ms. Milbourne pointed out, you have a transition point of contact at your school. If you do not know who that person is, it's one of two people for our high schools. It's myself, Erica Wingate, or my teammate, Robert Williams. So you can simply ask the LEA, the case manager, the school teacher you're most comfortable with or familiar with at your school, which one of us it is on the transition team. But nonetheless, we will help you in collecting all of those documents that were referenced and are needed. We do that on the school level. That's not something you as parents have to take on by yourself. We're here to partner together. The other ways that you can help prepare your child for programming opportunities is to make sure that they attend school on a regular basis, because most of our internships require at least an 80% attendance record. So we want to make sure that they're present and able to qualify. You also want to help them in maintaining their GPA. Students on the diploma track do need to maintain at least a 2.0 GPA. Do the RSA referral, what was just described to you, that paperwork that is sent home to you. COVID has taught us a lot of things. And so we now have this available electronically, but it can still be printed out and given as a hard copy as well. But nonetheless, you would complete that RSA referral so that you can participate in the programming opportunities and for employment assistance. Again, all of our internship opportunities are paid opportunities, and they are paid through the partnership we have with RSA. Finally, there's the participation, the student input. Again, that's very critical for the IEP transition plan, making sure that students are actively participating, that their opinions are heard, and you as families, you are able to do that as well, to participate for them and advocate for them and speak for them. So again, these are the ways that you can help prepare your child for programming opportunities. We here on the secondary transition team are willing, available, and able to assist you in making all of those connections.